But first, headlines continue to overwhelm us with the war in the Middle East between Israel and Hamas. And a new survey shows that 90% of American Jews, 90%, feel anti-Semitism has increased in the U.S. Here to talk more about the study and how more and more Jews are actually changing their behavior to stay safe, Holly Huffnagle. She's with the American Jewish Committee and focusing on how to fight anti-Semitism. Holly, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Well, let's talk about the results of this study. Going over some of the statistics, they're really eye-popping.
They are. I have been collecting this data with American Jewish Committee. We work with a public opinion research firm called SSRS. We've been doing this for years, since 2019. We've never seen numbers quite like this.
I mean,
just 2 years ago.
Well, I was going to say you were going to mention this, and I kind of wanted to get to it because we mentioned that 90% of American Jews feel anti-Semitism has increased. But talk about some of the ones that the statistics, because the numbers are through the roof, how it's changing behavior.
That's exactly what I was going to share. 2 years ago, 38% of American Jews said they've changed their behavior in one of the few ways asked about. They either haven't worn something that would identify them as Jewish, they either haven't gone someplace that would identify them as Jewish, maybe to their synagogue or to Jewish day school, but they've avoided posting content online. That was 38% 2 years ago. That number was way too high. It's 56% this year. More than half of Jews are hiding their behavior. And in fact, Richard, people in the West, Jews who live in California, who live in Oregon, who live in Washington, we know that they're more likely to change their behavior than Jews living in any other region in the United States. It's about 48% versus 37% hiding or displaying things that would identify them as Jewish.
That is,
it's unreal.
Well, I mean, that's more than half. That is bonkers. And I was also noticing 1/3 of American Jews say that they have been the personal target of anti-Semitism themselves. That's startling.
It is. And we asked about in-person attacks. We asked about remarks, like anti-Semitic remarks. We asked about personal target online, vandalism to property, other things that we didn't ask about. And you're seeing these numbers increase. And this is what's really heartbreaking. It's higher amongst young Jews. Oh. So young people, the young Jewish community is 41%. Compared to that 1 in 3, it's much higher.
Well, and that's the future of the faith, right? That's what's so scary about this. How do we turn these numbers around? How do we stop anti-Semitism?
We have to turn the numbers around. We might not be able to stop it, but we can lower the numbers. And it really does start with awareness that there is a problem. We are seeing growing awareness. And by the way, U.S. adults living in California, living in Oregon, living in Washington on the West, they're more likely to have seen anti-Semitism. And to report it. And so that's a first start. If you see something, say something. We don't want Jews to be hiding who they are. And also, talking to the Jewish community is another step. How are they feeling? What can they do?
Well, and you bring up the next point, and that's one of the things that I think I want to end on, because if a lot of times people are afraid to bring up, oh, it's a sensitive subject, I don't want to talk about it. No, that's the exactly wrong direction to go. The more you understand it, the more you can help fight it, and the more it helps these people feel seen, and more it helps people not have to hide their own faith. With the startling number of Jews, more than 56% say that, you know, they're worried they're going to be the target of this. The numbers are startling, so let's change all this. Let's make sure we talk about it. Let's maybe bring it to the forefront, regardless of what's in the headlines. And I think that's the important thing. Holly, thank you so much for bringing this important study to our awareness and focusing on trying to fix the problem. We appreciate it. All right.